All right, greetings, family, greetings. This is Professor Griff, and of course, this is On the Masses right here on Black Power Media Reloaded. Shout out to everyone that's joining me today, and thanks to everyone that came on the call last week to get the updated Q&A information from myself, Black Dot, and Red Pill. I want to shout them brothers out. Thank y'all very much for participating and putting that information out there so we can at least give people an idea of what's going on. We're thinking way beyond the puffies of the world, understand that it's a bigger and greater agenda that we need to kind of look at. We need to pull back, get a bigger, wider view of what's going on. But also, I want to shout them brothers out. Thank y'all very much. Thank you. And thank you for everyone that came on. I hope everyone received the extra information that I sent out in reference to the ebooks, and of course in reference to the support material, so you could do further research. All right, simply because we build this thing on the concept of each one teach three. So you have a duty and responsibility to teach three. All right, today we're going to be talking about Jeffrey Epstein's black book. Not necessarily his black book like you would have a black book like. I have a black book, and I'm sure you don't want to see my list of contacts that's in my black book. But what black celebrities were in Jeffrey Epstein's flight log that visited Jeffrey Epstein's island, that was in Jeffrey Epstein's book? Who has that information? What do they plan on doing with it? Will they be using that as a form of blackmail? All right. We need to start looking at these things, because now the landscape of how they kind of handle and deal with some of these people that y'all call celebrities and y'all actually worship and look up to, that landscape is going to change drastically. All right. I don't want you to think that this is just a regular trial that happened with Puffy, because he haven't even been sentenced yet. All right. As I've read to you, so often on Myron Fagan's work, and Myron Fagan talks about how they would use sex bribery to control a lot of these particular individuals. So let's do a check-in to see where everyone is checking in from. Shout out to Mrs. Moore. Really appreciate you. Where we at on IG. While we're doing the check-in, we're going to double that task with letting y'all know where we're going to be in the next couple of days. What I'm going to need everyone to do in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, especially Arlington, is the Arlington Merch and Mix. Arlington Merch and Mix. We're celebrating Dr. Khalid El Hakim, founder and curator of the Black History 101 Mobile Museum. All right. We're celebrating Legacy in Motion. It's free to get in, family. It's going to be friendly. Come on through, break bread with myself and Dr. Khalid El Hakim, Saturday, July 19th, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. All right, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. 2035 East Arkansas Lane, Arlington, Texas. All right, 76010. Gold Bar at 79 Restaurant. That must be some coded language. I ain't never heard an address like that. For real. So I guess it's Saturday, July 19th, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Got that much. 2535 East Arkansas Lane, Arlington, Texas. Got that much. So it must be at the Gold Bar at 79 Restaurant. Okay, new to me. But I Am Radio presents Arlington Merch and Mix. I'll be there mixing with some merch with the people, having a dialogue along with Dr. Khalid El Hakim, and we're going to be celebrating that good brother and his legacy in motion. All right, what I'm going to need everyone to do right now while we're on here, while I have your attention, while we're on the check-in. We're only on the check-in now, real quick, and then we're going to get to the subject matter. I'm going to need everyone to do me a big favor. I am doing an audio book, then ebook, then physical hard copy paperback book. It's entitled The Birth. And what The Birth is actually the birthing song of the women in the Himba tribe. All right. It's a beautiful, in-depth book that I'm putting together. And I want to kind of launch it and move it out as an audio book so you can hear it first. So I'm actually going to do a lecture in which I need everyone to tap in to explain what the birth is. Everyone has that favorite song, that song that you were born with, that mama sang to you while she was breastfeeding you and singing them songs while she was breastfeeding you. All right. We want to dive into the deeper spiritual, metaphysical aspects. This is a metaphysical book. This is a spiritual book. All right. Like I said, this is a spiritual book. This is a metaphysical book. This is not how Black women in the Himba tribe give birth. This is about music, spirit, vibration, frequency. And we're going to dive into the sacred science of how the women in the Himba tribe give birth and what is that birthing song. All right. So join me right now by doing your pre-order, all right, of the audio book. Pre-order of the audio book. All right. And let me go to the comments so I can put in how you're going to pre-order. You're going to pre-order by going to www.public, the letters N as in Nancy, M as in Mary, E as in elephant, enemy.me, publicenemy.me. All right. Go to that website, go to shop. All right. Do the pre-order. All right. If you're confused about that, simply hit me up, Professor Griff, at 678-557-2919. Say, Griff, I want to support your pre-launch of the book, The Birth. I want to pay for it now. All right. It's going to come through middle to the end of August. Prior to that, I'll do a lecture. Everyone that pre-orders it, of course, you get the lecture free. You can come on in, and I'm going to break down what the book is about. Then you get the audio book shortly after that. All right. All right. So if I have right now a couple of hundred people on here and about 50 people on IG, but I have thousands of followers, thousands of people that are online watching right now. If a quarter of those people came on and said, I'm going to support Professor Griff in his book, his new book, The Birth, his new audio book, his ebook, then his physical book, I want to support that. Let me go to the site, www.public, the letters nme.me. I want to support it. All right. We'll get you on the lecture so you understand what the book is about thoroughly, and then we'll make it happen. All right. Really appreciate the support. But if you just want to support and you don't want the book, or you might want the book and you want to support, all right, you can donate that $14.95 at Professor Griff, at $ Professor Griff on Cash App, and you can go to my PayPal right now. PayPal.me/Professor Griff Corp. All right, or just hit me up 678-557-2919. Support the platform, support the channel, support independent artists, and support independent authors. All right. Soleil is about to relaunch her Encoded album, along with the Decoded book, not book, but manual that she's putting out. She's decoding her album so we could dive deeper into what some of these lyrics actually mean. All right, so we're going to get that link for you in a minute. You can go to Devi Tribe Wellness, Devi Tribe Wellness. It's at the bottom of your screen, www.devitribewellness.com. All right, devitribewellness.com. If you want the elixirs, if you want the brain tonic, and if you want the resurrection formula, which is pouring into the month, we'll have it to you. It'll pour and go out August 11th. All right. August 11th. All right. In the meantime, in between time, all right. Meantime, between time, this is the last announcement. Support independent artists. Go cop the EP that myself and Soleil put together called Rebel Alchemy. Rebel Alchemy. All right. We plan on putting out our actual lyrics that we hand wrote for this particular EP. All right. If you want to support the cause by purchasing the handwritten lyrics, that's a beautiful thing. It's a collectible. All right. Rebel Alchemy. You can get that at Bandcamp. Hold on. Let me put it up for you so you don't get confused. Right here. www.professorgriff.bandcamp.com. All right. EP today, and or get the pre-order for the book, The Birth, audio book, ebook, and then the physical book today. I really appreciate that, fam. We'll make that announcement again. All right. At the end of the broadcast. But right now, Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book. I just want to ask a basic question for those that know, and for those that might not know. All right. For those that might not know, who are the Black celebrities that visited the island? Who are the Black celebrities that are on the flight manifest? Who are the Black celebrities that was on Jeffrey Epstein's list? And now that they're saying there's not a list, who were those individuals? So let me, if I can, I'm not sure if I have it handy, but I think I do. I'm not sure. Wow. I just so happen to have it. All right. Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book refers to the contact book Griff. What does this have to do with us as a people? Why am I even concerned about that? Do you realize if you're concerned about the missing Black children, then you should be concerned about this subject? All right. If you're concerned about Black people coming up missing, wherever they're coming up missing, then you should be concerned about this subject. If you're concerned about children in general, you should be concerned about this subject. If you are concerned with the coded language that they use and how to decode this, so you know what's going on in the world, then this subject should concern you. All right. Okay. If you're concerned with the music and the culture and where it's going, and how many other people will be implemented or implicated, pardon me, wrong terminology, in what's going on with Puppy's trial, then yeah. Wouldn't you want to know if some of the same people that went to Puppy's parties ended up on Jeffrey Epstein's list? All right. So then I think we should be concerned. And I think a lot of times we as Black people, for the sake of playing the race card, always want to say, well, that's just for the white elites. Black people weren't involved in that. Or you want to play the race card and said, okay, well, it's racist to mention this or it's racist to mention that. Well, hell, it wasn't that goddamn racist that they ended up at the party, at Puppy's white party. All right. Drinking Ciroc and whatever else they was drinking, getting so-called allegedly getting drugged, and then ended up on Jeffrey's island. If you're concerned about children, then you should know that Jeffrey Epstein's island is the same logo as the Nickelodeon logo, or the Nickelodeon logo is Jeffrey Epstein's island. I'm going to pause on that one for a second. Y'all still there? You following me? Are you following me? Having trouble connecting to, okay, I got you. Good afternoon, everyone in the chat. Kay Jones, how you feel today? All right. Ahmed, how you feel? Walaikum salam. What's up, world? Chance Rogers. Kay Jones is dropping names already. We didn't even get started, Kay Jones. Mrs. Moore. We're gonna connect the dots. Rock with me for a minute. Wait, whoa, hold up. Come on now. I got a blank piece of paper, but where's my pen? Hold on, let me go get a pen, fam. There should be one real handy somewhere. All right. I got one handy. Old school. Get you a blank piece of paper. All right. You can put Epstein or J.E. in the middle. Make a circle. Each direction, north, south, east, and west. Turn the page this way and do the same thing. North, south, east, west. Make sure that you got J.E. in the middle. All right. Under J.E., you can put a smaller circle and put G.M., Ghislaine Maxwell. If you want to draw a separate line for her over here, we can start a whole list of names. All right. That's how we start connecting the dots. Then you start to figure out who is connected to who, and you'll have a physical chart in front of you to see who's connected to who. This is just the way Steve Coakley told us on how to do this thing. All right. Okay. We're going to get back to that in a minute. All right. So here's what you need to know about the Black Book. Content. The Black Book contains contact information of numerous high-profile individuals. All right. Across various fields, including finance, politics, entertainment, and more. Do you need me to read you that list again? Finance, politics, entertainment, and more. Who are these Black celebrities, entertainers? Who are the Black politicians? Who are the Black financiers or financiers, or the ones that's being recipients of the money? And I think this particular article forgot to mention when it says the and more, who are the Black religious people that ended up on the island? What you doing on the island? You weren't holding church service. All right. Okay. So then it includes details of names, address, telephone numbers, and in some cases, even contact information for family members, secretaries, and associates, emergency numbers, or whoever. All right. Now, think of the present people that are Black celebrities. A lot of them are really insignificant, but they mean something to Black people because they are your celebrities. Let's start mentioning them down here. All right, let's talk about the Jay-Z's, the Beyoncé's, the blah, 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 and whoever. All right, and then let's start talking about how many of them have court cases right now. Yeah, they're casting a wide net. All right, you can put those individuals down here. All right. Then it says discovery and release. One of Epstein's Black books was reportedly discovered by the FBI during the investigation into his sex crimes, while another Black book dated October 1997 containing additional names surfaced later on. How many Black books did you have? And what was the different names for the Black books? And why did you have different Black books, and what did they mean? All right. What did the different symbols mean in the Black book? There's a cat on Rumble that breaks it down. White dude, he just kind of drops it, and he's like telling you what some of the symbols mean. And going into the iconography and all this other kind of stuff. All right. You got symbols for pizza in there and some other stuff. All right. What are the notable names in the Black Book? Contain entries for well-known figures like Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Alan Dershowitz, and or according to the CBS News. Wow. Okay, start that list up here. Alan Dershowitz, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew. We can start that list up here. Now, who they connected to? Is Dershowitz connected to anyone that's dealing with the P. Diddy trial? We could put P. Diddy over here or under the blacklist. All right. Any of those names I just mentioned connected to anyone on the blacklist? Can we find pictures of Bill Clinton and any black celebrities that's ended up at the white parties or the Epstein Island? All right. Can we find pictures of Alan Dershowitz and other people? All right. Okay. The Black Book has a subject intense public scrutiny due to Epstein's sex trafficking charges. It's considered significant because it sheds light on Epstein's network of associates. Epstein had a network. Who is in the network? Who is in the network? And then how are they connected? So I just want to ask them basic questions because that's how I approached it. How did Epstein become a billionaire? Who was responsible for Epstein's rise to billionaire status? Let's answer these questions. All right. The release of the information, the book has fueled speculation and calls for further investigation into Epstein's activities and his connections. The Black Book is a key piece of evidence. Not the Black Book. The Black Books. Plural. They are key pieces of evidence in the ongoing discussions surrounding Jeffrey Epstein and his network, providing insight into his social and professional circles. All right, social and professional circles. His social and professional circles. Wait, let's stop sharing that and let's go to some of the names that they put out there, not Professor Griff. All right, so don't come for me. Nope, not that one, not that one, not that one. Not his connection as him being a spy. Nope, not that. Who were the people? Hold on. Not that. Not that, not that, not that. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to read it to y'all. Wow, that was interesting. Okay. Let me just read it. Let's cancel that out. Let's put me back on the screen center. All right. All you have to do is put in here are who are all of the famous people Epstein was connected to. I just put in something simple. All right. Remember, we have the blacklist, which is the black celebs, which entertainers, politicians. We have some religious people on here. We have presidents. All right. And over here, we got white celebs. We can have his Ghislaine Maxwell's inner circle here. All right. So let's read the list. Now, this is public knowledge. This is not some Professor Griff doing some super deep kind of whatever. I do tap in to some of the people that dare to speak truth to power. And a lot of them people don't look like me, if y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, all right. Some notable individuals mentioned in connection with Jeffrey Epstein as reported in the news and court documents. So if you watch the news and you have access to court documents, which I have access to them because you have access to them, a lot of the names and kind of information in the black book, they're blacked out, redacted, and kind of, yeah, but you can read between the lines and make your connections, as I do. All right? Okay. Here's some of the names. Bill Clinton, former U.S. president. Donald Trump, present U.S. president. Prince Andrew, British royalty. Bill Richardson, former New Mexico governor and U.S. ambassador. All right? Then it says celebrities and entertainers. Michael Jackson, David Copperfield, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, Naomi Campbell, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Blanchett, Bruce Willis, Cameron Diaz. Where have I seen Cameron Diaz's name recently? Her black child. It's all grown up now. I read that somewhere. Bruce Willis. Did I say Bruce Willis? Alec Baldwin. Mick Jagger. Woody Allen. Business leaders and academics. Les Wexner. Leon Black. Apollo Global Management. Les Wexner is former L Brand CEO. Alan Dershowitz, Harvard law professor and former Epstein attorney. Which other Epstein attorney came out recently and said Epstein did not unalive himself? Hold on. Marvin Minsky, MIT scientist. Glenn Dubin, hedge fund manager. Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn co-founder. LinkedIn co-founder. Okay. Elon Musk, Tesla CEO. Bill Gates, Musk and Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. Wow. Joy Ito, Frederick, Fekkie, celebrity hairstylist and entrepreneur. Where have I seen this name? Frederick Fekkie. I've heard this name. I've read this name somewhere. Others, Ghislaine Maxwell, British socialite, Epstein's ex-girlfriend and convicted co-conspirator. How is she a co-conspirator? I thought there was no list. If there was no list, then who are they trafficking? And who are they trafficking them to? Where are they getting them from? Who are they trafficking them to if there's no list? Ethel Kennedy, the matriarch of the Kennedy family. Andrew Cuomo. Wow. That name is familiar. He's a former New York governor. Jean-Luc Brunel, French model agent. Peggy Siegel, film publicist. Mohammed bin Salman, Saudi crown prince. Jess Staley, former Barclays CEO. J.P. DeJean, former U.S. Virgin Islands governor. Okay, I'm not an AI dude, but I'm going to click AI because it says you want to dive deeper, you want more names, click here. I'm open. I got a minute today. All right. Oh, it gives you a deeper, detailed list and what these people actually do. For example, Kevin Spacey, actor, reportedly traveled with Epstein on his private plane. Leonardo DiCaprio, actor, the actor's name was mentioned in connection with Epstein's circles. However, it appears Epstein may have been name dropping without any actual relationship with the star, Woody Allen. Or it just gives you a deeper insight on what these individuals was doing on the plane, on the island. So I want to type in, is there any truth to Epstein's island being a base model for the Nickelodeon logo? And then can somebody please tell me, what does the term Nickelodeon, what does Nickelodeon actually mean? I don't know. Y'all want to do it in real time together? Let's go. I got my keypad. Okay. Let's make it happen together. What's the real meaning of the word Nickelodeon? I don't know. Doesn't give you much. A movie theater with an admission fee of 1 nickel, right? A nickel coin. Nick. Well, we know the root. Well, we know the word Nick, the root word to Nickelodeon. Nick is the devil. We know that much. All right. The word Nickelodeon in a foreign language means what? The word Nickelodeon in a foreign language means don't believe in God. Hail Satan. I'm not making this up. You just do a bet. I'm doing it in real time with you. So it's not something I'm making up. Like Saint Nick. You're right, love angel. Saint Nick. All right. However, running the word through every non-English language offered Google Translate reveals nothing. Okay. A lot of times we look up these words and we look for the English definition of these words, and a lot of these words are not English words. All right. Like if you're looking up Santa Claus or Satan Claus, and you don't find the esoteric meaning or the metaphysical meaning behind the claustrum, then you might not get the esoteric or the occult meaning of what Santa Claus coming down the chimney actually mean. Are you following what I'm saying? So just for all practical purposes right now, if you're within the sound of my voice, look up the claustrum. What is the claustrum? And what does that have to do with Santa Claus coming down the chimney? I'm going to do it in real time with you. What is the claustrum? However you spell the word, it'll correct it. All right. The claustrum is a thin sheet-like structure of neurons located deep within the brain beneath the cortex, and it is known for its extensive connection to nearly all areas of the cerebral cortex. Its region of ongoing research, and while its extract function is still being investigated, it's being investigated by you. Some of us already know. How do you activate the claustrum? All right. What does the claustrum do for the brain? The claustrum is situated between the insular cortex and the putamen. It's separated by an extremely compulsations, and claustrum is remarkably well connected, receiving input and output signals, blah, 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 blah. And it sends out a liquid, a fluid, and it sends it down into the brain. Santa Claus coming down the chimney. It's not hard. If you say it's hard, it's going to be hard. Let's not speak negativity into existence. It's here. All right? Hold on. Hold on. Don't go nowhere.
The story of Santa Claus. Why he comes down the chimney is because this juice or this whatever substance actually passes what's called the claustrum, which is where they got Santa Claus. So it goes down the chimney and back up the chimney.
The claustrum is a little closet just below the cerebrum where all the cerebrospinal fluids, i.e. chrism, is produced. It's called the Holy or the Santa Claustrum. So Santa Claus is in your head at the North Pole. Yeah. Well, obviously this is the North Pole. This point here in acupuncture is called Polaris, the North Pole. The Chinese know this, and this is the dome of heaven. The claustrum, which is here, the Santa Claustrum, it releases oils which go down the chimney, down to the solar plexus, or the sacral plexus.
All right. Inside our head, in the skull, we have the cerebrum, and there's a special part in it called the...
Okay. If you're still doing the research, or you still searching out there, all I did was put in the claustrum. What is the claustrum? All right. And then after it gives that, I put in Jim Carrey, a comedian. It pulled that up. All right. And once it pulled that up, yeah, listen, it's not. We just need to know some different techniques. All right. To know how to know how to research. I went here, then we can go here.
The story of Santa Claus. Why he comes down the chimney is because this juice or this whatever substance actually passes what's called the claustrum, which is where they got Santa Claus. So it goes down the chimney and back up the chimney.
The claustrum is a little closet just below the cerebrum where all the cerebrospinal fluids, i.e. chrism, is produced. It's called the Holy or the Santa Claustrum. So Santa Claus is in your head at the North Pole. Yeah. Well, obviously this is the North Pole. This point here in acupuncture is called Polaris, the North Pole. The Chinese know this, and this is the dome of heaven. The claustrum, which is here, the Santa Claustrum, it releases oils which go down the chimney, down to the solar plexus, or the sacral plexus.
Inside our head, in the skull, we have the cerebrum, and there's a special part in it called the claustrum. This claustrum is right in the middle of our head, and it releases a special kind of brain fluid, an oil. In ancient Greek, this fluid was known as Christos, or the Christ. This wonderful fluid starts from the cerebrum and flows down through the spinal cord. It travels down to the lower back, near a group of bones called the sacrum. The sacrum is made up of 5 bones joined together, right at the bottom of our spine. Below the sacrum is the coccyx, the very end of the spinal column. Close to the sacrum, there's a network of nerves called the sacral plexus. The oil from the cerebrum goes all the way down to this lower part of the spine. The claustrum is also called the holy claustrum because of this special oil, this crystal-like substance it creates. The word sacred is thought to come from secretion because this secretion is a hidden thing, and the sacrum is the sacred part of the secret. As the secretion travels down the spinal cord to the sacrum, we see the amazing design of our body. The spinal cord is really an extension of the brain, and it helps with thinking too. Now, about the holy claustrum, it's also called the Santa Claus drum. This is because the fluid that flows to the sacral plexus is considered sacred. This idea is where the Santa Claus story comes from, with him bringing gifts down the chimney. It's a tale about how our bodies work. Also, the Bible can be seen as a guide to how our bodies can renew themselves. Here's what happens. Every month, when the moon is in the same zodiac sign as when you were born, a special seed or germ is formed in the solar plexus, just above the sacral plexus. This germ is the oil. the Christ born in Bethlehem. In this context, Bethlehem is another name for the solar plexus where this Christ or seed begins. This seed, this oil, is meant to go back to where it started in the midbrain. As the oil moves up the spinal cord, its vibration, the energy of the Christ oil gets stronger. But first, the oil is processed in the pineal gland and the pituitary gland before it travels down the spinal cord. The pineal gland is linked with electricity, while the pituitary gland is associated with magnetism. The oil is separated out, and then it travels down the spinal cord through the pingala and ida nerves. These nerves are also called the kundalini and the kundabuffa. The oil reaches the sacral plexus and waits for a special seed to form once a month, which happens 12 times a year. If we manage to transform this seed and make it rise, it moves up the spinal cord. It then gets to the medulla oblongata, the pons, and the midbrain, crossing the vagus nerve, also known as pneumogastric nerve. This nerve starts in the brain area, near the pineal and pituitary glands, and it goes to the lungs and the stomach. This whole nerve system is called the tree of life. The ancients believed that this seed, born in Bethlehem every month, is the Christ. They thought if a person avoids sexual activity during this time, the oil and seed are preserved. Then they rise, passing through the heart chakra, then the throat chakra, increasing in vibration as they go. At the start, the oil has a low vibration, but with meditation, proper breathing, good eating, and peaceful behavior, this Christ oil can be raised. It then crosses the vagus nerve at the top of the spine, which has 33 vertebrae. The reason for this is that Christ symbolically dies at 33 years old. When the oil reaches the top of the spine, it finds the optic thalamus, a small egg-shaped part in the middle of the head. As it crosses the pneumogastric nerve, this is referred to as the crucifixion. But the oil isn't destroyed. Instead, its power increases 1,000 times. It then touches the optic thalamus and stays there for 2.5 days in a state that seems like death. After this time, it moves to the pineal gland, lighting up both the optic thalamus and the pineal gland. The Egyptians and Greeks called the optic thalamus the light of the world because they understood their body's anatomy and physiology. They knew about this precious oil that came from the claustrum in the cerebrum, was processed in the pineal and pituitary glands, and traveled down the spine. They believed that it would eventually rise again, and the enlightened people could make this Christ oil rise to the optic thalamus, illuminating it. What happens next is that...
Now, tell me this doesn't sound like the whole Santa Claus story, the Jesus story, the crucifixion story, all these particular stories. This is what it sounds like. All right. All right, we won't dive deeper because that's a lot longer. If anybody wants, I got some research material on that. As a matter of fact, there's about three ebooks I have breaking this stuff down just in that way. But y'all see the title. All right, you can go to YouTube and watch that, the whole thing, or whatever, or I can get you guys some information. All right, let's get back to this subject. All right, so now, who are the black celebrities? Why are they on the list? All right, I'm going to put the invite in the chat. If anyone wants to come on, we can talk about it. Okay. Where is my invite? I got my invite, fam. Copy. Here's some basic questions that I have, and I've asked a few throughout the broadcast. What is Ghislaine Maxwell's role? Why is she even in jail if there was no list? If there's no list, then she didn't traffic anyone, right? If she trafficked someone, I'm sure there was a list. All right? All right. In the meantime, while we're waiting for people to kind of get the the link, the invite link. Once again, fam, my book, The Birth. There's a pre-sale for my book, The Birth. All right. And just to let you guys know, I want to put it out as an audio book, ebook, paper back, and then hardcover. All right. Prior to that, I'm doing a lecture breaking down the whole book. All right. And I'm going to put the information on how you get the book, to pre-order the book, pardon me, in the chat right now. If someone on Instagram want to follow me and put this on IG, www.public, NMEMIN, hold on, NME.me. All right, www.publicnme.me. All right. Go to my site, pre-order the book. If you have issues with the site, of course, you can text me at 678-557-2919. All right. All right. Okay, you said in the news today, she said the same thing. She said if the president said the list is fake, then she needs a retrial. Plus, she says she has the list and will testify in front of Congress for a deal. People are making deals now. There's no list, but people are making deals. So, Queen V, you said someone unalived themselves? Now, let me say this. K. Jones, you said LeBron James is on that list? Okay. All right. All right. One last thing about the book, The Birth. The Birth is about the birthing song of the women of the Himba tribe in Namibia, in Africa. All right. Okay. So I broke it down and we pulled the deeper science of music, vibration, spirit. Yeah, we just kind of, we broke it down. Hold on one second. One second, fam. Hold on. Let me see. Tell it that 1 second, fam. I'm gonna be right with y'all. Burp. While we're waiting, I need everyone to know that myself and Soleil will be, all right, we will be at Soul Cinema Sundays. All right, we will be at the Soul Cinema Sunday this Sunday. All right, the Last Dragon, I believe, is being. All right, Soul Cinema Sunday presents The Last Dragon, celebrating its 40th anniversary. Contact Janine at 510-473-2553. All right. The Last Dragon. All right. Where's that address at? Everybody, can y'all jot that number down and call Janine? Hold on for a second. Let me put Janine's number. Can y'all text Janine for me? 510 473. If you're in the Atlanta area this Sunday, I'm flying out to Texas, doing my thing, and I'm flying right back to be with y'all. All right, 2553. All right. All right. Her name is Janine. I call her the John 9. Still says Janine. All right. Can y'all text Janine for me? 510-473-2553. Tell her Griff shouted her out. Shouted out to Soul Cinema Sundays. All right, fam. Real quick. Back to this. The birth, and then we'll get back to the subject. Because I know y'all doing some research right now. I see y'all. Let me see. Let me go into the folder, blah, 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 blah. Okay. When we talk about the sacred science and the sacred sound, all right, when we start talking about frequency and vibration and spirit, all of this is happening and going down as you're being formed in the womb. But the birth talks about the child along with the parents, along with the mom, in sync with one another in the spirit of the child being born. At the time the child is being born with, is born with a song, and that song stays with the child through the duration of its life. So I go through that journey in the book. It's a very easy read. It gets kind of deep when we start breaking down frequencies and hertz and vibration and this kind of thing, as it relates to the natural sound of not only the Om, but the sound of the universe. All right. It's a beautiful thing. All right. When you understand it to that degree. So every woman that has ever given birth, every child has a birthing song. We just need to figure out what that song is for you. All right. What is that song for you? All right. Hold on. Hold on. Let's get back to here. Let's get back to your comments. All right. Here we go. Let's see what we yield here. Give me a few seconds. Bear with me, fam. I already told Kalanji. I sent him a message, told him I'm going to be going over past the 1 o'clock hour. So just bear with me. Yep. I want that. I need that. Yes. Let me show you all the book, The Birth. All right. It's coming together. I'm on my other computer, so it's coming together for me. All right. It says good things are happening. All right. So when we talk about the idea of the birth, I talk about this, the idea of, it says this song is before the birth, all right, of the child. This song is not merely a study of the culture. It is a remembering, a soft but present echo that calls to something ancient within us all. So that song syncs up with the mother and the child. And as the child wants to come to birth, all right, I teach in the book that the mother finds a tree, and it is a certain kind of tree, all right, because the tree is symbolic to something. We'll talk about that when we talk about the greater lecture, inside of the greater lecture. But she sits under a tree and she waits for the notes to hit her via the netters. The winds come by, and the child still in the womb wanting to come to birth will teach the mother the song. And the child and the mother will sing that song together. All right. And then, now wait, this is way before the conception now. So then the mom will learn the song from the child and teach that song to the father. They will conceive, child is conceived. Now, those three are in sync, singing the song. So the mother sits under the tree, will call the village that will surround her, and she will teach the village that particular song. And so now when that child comes to birth, everyone knows that child's song. So as that child develops, not only when it comes to birth, but the birthing process, the midwife, the elders, everyone knows that child's song. So that when that child comes to life now, all right, through school, through grade school, everyone that will be involved in that child's life will know that child's song and will sing. This is where we get the concept of singing that child's praise. All right. Then when the child goes astray, what do? They bring the child back and put the child in the center, and they sing that child's song. When that child graduates, all right, school, they will sing that child's song. When that child finds a mate and decides to get engaged and get married, we'll sing that child's song. And that child grows up now and has a child of its own, then the process starts all over again. This is the book that I wrote called The Birth. All right. The birthing song from the women from the Himba tribe in Namibia. It's a deep science, fam, that we all, especially as women, need to know. And especially men, because we need to kind of hold on to this concept of this sacred science. And we need to know this. We need to participate more in the idea of bringing the child to birth. That's another subject at another time. Let me get back on topic rather. I am. But, all right. We're going to sum this subject up. The subject, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book. And who are the Black celebrities in the book? And what is their role? And how did that affect them on how we interact with them? When you're listening to a comedian, all right, and that comedian has been in those particular circles, when you're watching an actor on TV or a rapper or whomever or entertainer that's been entertaining you, but it's taken oath, as I talked about in my book, The Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop, as the lecture we just did when we talked about P. Diddy. All right. And I showed y'all in my notes, the P. Diddy notes, who was connected to who. If y'all could see some of that. Some of the same names I mentioned today are some of the same names I mentioned the other day, as I did the lecture and the talk with Black Dot and Red Pill. All right. Some of the same people. All right. If you've been taking notes, you should have some of the same people on your list. All right. So as I see, no one wanted to come on. So I really appreciate y'all's time. All right. Do me a favor. The Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. $ Professor Griff. If you want to donate, and if you want to support the book, the audio book, ebook, and the physical book, please do so by going to the site public, nme.me, or just hit me up. I'll send you the link, 678-557-2919, 678-557-2919. If you want some of the information in reference to what we were breaking down, in reference to the claustrum and how they broke down the whole Jesus story and the Santa Claus story, I have that information. Hit me up, make a minimal whatever donation. I'll get the information to you. All right. My Cash App is $ Professor Griff. Let me know who you are. Send me an email at Serious Minds, Serious SIRIUS Minds MINDZ info at gmail.com. I will get the information over to you before I get up out of this chair. All right. seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com. If you on IG, let me give you all my phone numbers in case y'all want to text me and say, listen, I need that information, Griff. Hold on. All right. If you send a donation via PayPal, Cash App, you're gonna have to email me because I gotta get your email address to send you the information. All right. Please support the platform, support the cause, support the book, support the EP Rebel Alchemy. All right. Get the information. All right, I'll get over to you. I'm planning a lecture right now as we speak, dealing with the birth, so we can move forward. We're going to get to a point where we're going to talk about how the music and the vibration and the frequency of the music affects us, but we're going to learn how to use that positive vibrational frequency that we put in the music to help us, to guide us, steer us. All right? All right? We're going to use it for that purpose. Ronald Jones, why are you always coming on at the end, bro? When I'm about to get off here. All right, we're going to bring you on. What's happening?
What's going on, bro?
How you feel?
I'm good, bro. I'm good, bro. Bro, I was in here cooking, man. I've been doing a lot of stuff. My bad. I've been trying to jump on the show before, before it get too late. It just, I didn't know you was gonna throw the link out there this time, and but anyway, yeah, bro. This topic, man. I've been wanting to talk about it. You know what I mean? It's it's some serious stuff as far as the ring. You know what I mean? The ring. I mean, I don't know how much what I can say. Without I don't want to get the channel in no trouble, but I'm just saying, as far as them doing what they've been doing this for a long time. We all know about the mansions underneath the tunnels underneath the Playboy Mansion and all that good stuff. So, I mean, it's I don't know where to start, bro.
See,
Tell me, bro.
Ronald, a lot of times when you go that deep, it's a fine line when you start navigating and talking about that stuff because you don't know what you might say to get the channel shut down. So a lot of times I just compile that information and do a Zoom call and talk to the people so we can talk about tunnels. We can talk about ushering people in and out of certain places without being detected, people using false names and disguises and that kind of thing. Yeah, we could talk about that. But a lot of times on this platform, it's very difficult to do that.
My bad, bro.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I got you.
Bro, you probably don't remember me. You came down to Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore. You came down here a couple years ago. I was a little younger. I still had teeth and I ain't had no white hair, right?
You said you still had teeth and you was a little younger. Okay.
Yeah, I ain't had no white hair and I still had teeth, right? But you let me and my homeboy up in the library. We was on North Avenue, the old wax museum. Used to be the black wax museum or whatever, bro. You used to have a lot of science, bro.
Oh, give thanks, man.
Yeah, appreciate
all
that,
right, man,
bro.
I appreciate you. We'll talk, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll talk. All right. That was my man Ronald from Baltimore. When he was younger and he had teeth, he said he used to come through. I got you. My email address is on the screen, seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com. All right. Hold on. I wanted to answer someone. The Artistic Perfect Life. Sis, if you want easier access, I've been sending everyone to my Professor Griff .me website. All right. And people said that was too difficult. So you can get it on either site. All right. All right. All right, cool. All right, fam. I got to get ready to get out of here. Y'all take care. Really appreciate that. All right. Love y'all to life. Peace.